Now we're going to begin standing tonight. So bring yourself standing on your mat in Tadasana. And just let yourself tune in before we begin by bringing one hand to your belly and one to your heart. And just let your weight come forward and back on your mat. Tonight we're going to be working with our gentle yin yoga again. Taking a deep breath in and out. Weights coming side to side now, just grounding by feeling the ground beneath you. So we're going to be working with yin and with the breath. The breath and a poem called The Breath is Life's Teacher. Taking another deep breath in. And as you breathe out, feel as if the breath is flowing down through your legs and into the earth. And then letting yourself come to a place where you feel the four corners of your feet are balanced. Coming to stillness, standing tall. Feeling the energy of the day flowing through you. And let's get a sense of allowing that energy to flow through you into the earth, into the sky, without getting stuck, taking it into tomorrow. Coming into the present, to the beauty in your body and your breath in this moment. And so we'll begin with Energy Block Release 2 from Dru Yoga. So breathing in, take the arms overhead. Breathing out, nice soft knees as they open wide around you. Cross your right wrist in front of your left. Breathe in. Breathing out, arms float down around you like blossoms falling from a tree. Left wrist in front of the right. Breathe in. Feel as if you're taking off layers of your day. Enjoying the feel of the day, but also enjoying the feel of letting the day go, being in this place of flow. Pointing your index fingers now with the same movement. And with this one, I want you to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Breathe in. Other wrist crosses. Breathe in. Last one. Breathe in. Let go. And then hands float up the front of the body, bringing the palms to touch above the head, relaxing to the crown, and then sinking down into chair. And just again, taking the legs, the feet forward and back, the weight to the heels, the weight to the toes, and then slowly just a little wiggle of the hips down a bit deeper. Breathe in, stand up tall. Breathe out, open the arms wide. Breathe the arms up to the heart. Breathe out, turn the palms away. Breathe out from the heart. Have a sense that having lived today open-hearted and courageous, taking in and giving and receiving, now you're just clearing the space around the heart, doing some self-care and maintenance. So the heart feels free and like a bird, after soaring all day, can settle into its nest. Resting in your heart space like coming home. Breathe in one more time to the heart. And then breathe out, let the arms float down. Give the arms a little shake. And then turn the palms to face backward. Keep lifting up, press into the feet to lift up to the sky. You're not sticking your bottom out. You're keeping the sacrum reaching through the legs to the earth, but lifting the heart to the sky. Knees are soft. And then roll the arms forward. And then slowly bringing the arms up to shoulder height in this way. Taking your time and exploring your shoulder joints, bringing some warmth. Releasing any holding through the shoulders, through the upper back, as the arms are now at shoulder height, looking towards the right palm, and twist the left palm in the opposite direction with the palm facing up. Then turn and look to the left palm and twist the right palm in the opposite way. And keep going in that way with just a soft easiness through the breath. It's as if you're wringing out the space around your upper back and shoulders. Should be getting nice and warm so you can melt away any stress or tension from this space. And then both palms facing up. Breathe in and breathe out. Slowly bringing the arms back down by your sides. And give them a little shake again. And then palms, the arms come up. Elbows are soft. Hug a tree. Shoulders sit down into their sockets. Knees are soft. Breathe in. Breathe out, step to your right, let the left heel come up and twist to look around your shoulder. Take that right elbow right back as if you're just giving little tiny bounces to wring out the spine in this direction. Breathe in, back to center, back to the front. Step the left foot to the side, let the right heel come up and take that left elbow back. Wring, twist, feel into the spine. Come back to center. Take the arms high. Breathe out, bring them down. Give a little shake again to the shoulders. Take the arms back up, hug a tree. We're going to go a bit further now. Step to the right. Take that right arm to the small of your back. The left hand up to the right shoulder. Left elbow stays high. And again, let that right elbow take you further into the twist. Just little slow, gentle bounces or holding in stillness if that feels better. And spread your right toes. Feel grounded. Then breathe in back to center. Uncurl the arms. Step with the left foot. Bring the left back of the hand to your low back. Right hand to the shoulder. Right elbow high. Take the left elbow back in tiny little bounces. Spread the left toes wide. Feel grounded and stable. And then breathe in back to center. Take the arms high. And breathe out and bring the arms down and let them rest on top of your knees. I shouldn't have said rest. Let yourself be held here in space. Lifting through the crown of the head, breathing in. And as you breathe out, a really delicious twisting standing cat look over the right shoulder. Breathe into center. Breathe out, looking over the left shoulder. Keep flowing with your breath. We're going to explore today a poem by Donna Martin as we come in just a few moments into our yin practice of really feeling how the breath can be an anchor to the present moment, to our bodies, to our hearts, to our own life rhythms and cycles. Notice what's happening with your neck, how nice it is to twist it, or if it doesn't feel good, just keeping it nice and neutral. Last one to each side. Calming back to neutral. Make it just a standing cat, so stick your butt out now. Take your shoulders back. Drape that heart forward and then breathe out. Really squeeze the lower abdominals, tuck under, tuck the chin to the chest. Breathe in, stick your bottom out, lengthen the spine, draw the shoulders back, look forward. Breathe out, tuck your pelvis under, squeeze those lower abdominals, tuck the chin. Just a few more of these. Feel your spine, enjoying this sense of expressing each and every part of itself. There were surely parts of your spine that got really worked today, and parts that are like, hey, what about me? You haven't moved me today. And so touch into each and every one like a precious child. The spine is so important. And then with your next inhalation, let yourself extend your arms up and reach for the sky. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, lift to the sky. Make it a back bend if that feels good. If it doesn't, just lift to the ceiling. Breathe out. Breathe in, lift. Press the feet into the earth. Lift the fingers to the sky. Breathe out, fold. Hold opposite elbows. Relax the head and say yes. Yes to all that was good and wonderful today. And then say no. Shake the head side to side. No to clinging, attachment, hanging on, harboring resentment, self-criticism, all those things we don't need. Let it go. Let it go. And then just let the head come to stillness. Give the shoulders a little shake. Give the hips a little shake. Press the feet into the ground and feel that activating through the glutes. That's a much healthier forward fold. Knees are slightly soft. And then take the fingertips down to the ground or the palms, whatever's available to you. Bend the knees if you need to more. Breathe in. And breathe out. Take the right arm to the sky. Have the legs as bent as you need to. Breathe into center. Breathe out. Take the left arm to the sky. Breathe out to center. Really press that left hand down into the earth as you lift the right arm. Make the arms active. Breathe out to center. Press the right palm or fingers, whatever feels good, as you try to touch the ceiling with your left arm and down. Beginning to tune into the feel of the flow of your breath with the movement of your body. Beginning to get a sense of how they move together in partnership and relationship. Beautiful. And then bend the knees deeply, roll yourself up to standing. We keep wringing out, stretching and opening, reaching behind if that feels good. Breathe out, arms come down. And take the legs wide. We're going to get a little bit juicy tonight with goddess pose. Feeling this sense of connection to our hips. So take the legs side or hips side to side. You have your legs as wide as it's comfortable. Knees are out. Hands are on your thighs. And for this first one, just kind of a little massage into the thighs. And we're going to keep coming back to goddess and getting a bit deeper and deeper as we open up our hips. So we're going to use our yin practice to deepen our ability to get juicy in the hips here in goddess, which is all about really savoring life, being able to enjoy the sweetness of life without getting caught up and lost in samsara, as they call it. And so breathe in here one more time, come a bit lower, and then come to forward fold. Bring the feet to hip width apart, bend the knees, come down onto your mat, and lie down onto your back as we start to come into our yin flow. So you're lying on your back. Knees are bent. And we're going to begin by just getting a little bit more play into the hips here. But let's start with a little twist. So take the feet mat width apart, so farther than about shoulder width apart. And just let them drop over to the left, over to the right. And if it's comfortable, looking in the opposite direction to where your knees go. And you can either make this just really floppy and let gravity do its thing, or you can really press down onto your knees to take it deeper and feel a bit more opening through the hip. I'm going to do thread the needle figure 4 pose here. So bringing yourself back to center, feet come back to hip width apart, and taking that right ankle over your left knee, drawing up the left leg and drawing your right foot towards you. Now you have some options here. So if you want to make this a little bit more deep into the hip, you can hold the outside of the knee and draw that left leg towards you. Keep that right knee out. You could, if you know you're really flexible through the hips, place your foot into the crook of your elbow, the knee into the crook of the elbow, extend that left leg and lay back into a reclining pigeon. Now you can see for me I can achieve this, but I can't lay back. That pulls too hard on my hip. So that's not available to me. So you only want to do this if you can actually do this and lie back onto the mat, or even if you just need a little support for the head. So that's not going to work for me. And if you want to make it a little bit more restorative, if you've got a wall or a chair, you could have the foot resting there, and you might have to inch closer depending on how stretchy you are, just to allow a really passive stretch, but I'm still getting a nice one into that right hip. So let's stay here a minute. That's what yin is all about. And I'm just going to read you some of Donna Martin's poem. The breath is life's teacher. Observe me, says the breath, and learn to live effortlessly in the present moment. Feel me, says the breath, and feel the ebb and flow of life. Allow me, says the breath, and I'll sustain and nourish you, filling you with energy and cleansing you of tension and fatigue. And so let's observe. Observe me, says the breath. Just notice the ebb and flow of the breath, which is the ebb and flow of life. The ebb and flow of prana. As you feel the breath flowing, life flowing, present moment flowing, feeling the face relaxing, the shoulders relaxing, softening, allowing the breath to sustain you and nourish you as you invite a deeper opening through the right hip, cleansing your legs of tension and fatigue, filling the eyes with a soft energy. And I invite you to take 5 more conscious breaths here. You may like to count them, breathing in 1 and out 1. Observing the breath. And see if you can feel with each breath you take that you're descending a bit further into peace and balance and openness in your body, and especially in this hip. And then once you've said all 5 breaths, then uncrossing the leg, bringing the feet back to shoulder width apart on the mat, and once again rinsing through, windscreen wipering the legs side to side, head going the opposite way. If it feels good, give a little massage to that right hip you've been stretching into. You know, all of these are just suggestions. So if any of these poses don't suit you, modify them, use props. It's a gentle practice, but it's actually quite deep. So feel free to use props or to choose another practice that suits you better. So let's come to the left side. The right foot comes to center, left ankle comes over. Draw in that right thigh. Just check in with the stretch through the left hip. Do you want it deeper? Wherever you go with it, you want to be able to keep the shoulders relaxed, the head on the mat. So if you want to put the knee and the heel into the crook of your elbows, feel free, but make sure you can lay back as you do that. And you might want to straighten the leg if your hip flexors are long enough. That's not available to me right now, so I'm not going to do it. Or hold the outside of the knee instead of the back of the thigh in order to deepen that stretch, or make it more restorative by relaxing the leg up onto a chair or the wall. You'll find there that you can then just, it frees your hands. You can use the left hand to push the left knee out. See how that affects the stretch through the left leg. Or you could press the left knee out with your right hand and massage. This is one of my favorite things to do. So if you have the opportunity in a pose to give this kind of beautiful love and attention to your hip, your thigh, then please do avail yourself of this amazing opportunity for self-care and self-compassion. And as you do, we focus again on the breath. Donna Martin says, "Move with me," says the breath, "and I'll invite your soul to dance. Make sounds with me, and I shall teach your soul to sing. Follow me," says the breath, "and I'll lead you out to the furthest reaches of the universe and inward to the deepest parts of your inner world." And so as you breathe, if you're moving with that massage, the sense of the breath moving with you. If not, just have a sense with each breath of what part of your body moves. The belly, the chest, the ribs, maybe into the shoulders, the feeling of the inside of the throat, the nose. Loosening the left hip with each breath so that your soul can dance more freely in this body. Make sounds with me, and I shall teach your soul to sing. You may like to sigh it out. Or hum. Follow the breath as it leads you to the furthest reaches of the universe and to the deepest parts of your inner world. And then releasing your leg, coming back to center, crossing the ankles, just having a little roll along your spine. Massage up and down the spine. If this doesn't feel good, then roll to your favorite side and meet us up at sitting. And then we're going to bring the legs around and just come up to standing into goddess pose again, and just let yourself kind of sink down. Feel the difference now that you've got some little bit more openness through the hips. Have your elbows on the insides of your knees. Press them open and have a little dance. What does Donna Martin say? Move with me, says the breath, and I'll invite your soul to dance. Big breath in and out. And so feel as you press the elbows into the knees, that opening through the inner thighs. Let's get a little bit more juicy through that. So forward fold once again. Release the head, release the face. Say yes to something from your day. What was good in your day? Affirm it. Remember it. And then bend the knees and bring yourself down onto the mat. And then come onto your bottom. Take your legs wide. Give the knees a little shake. Let's get a little bit into these inner thighs. So take your bottom and pull it back so you can get onto your sit bones. Flex and then point your toes a couple of times. Have a little bit of softness through the knees and then begin to walk the hands forward. Now you have options here. If you know you're already quite flexible through the inner thighs, you might find that you can drape yourself over the ground. If you know you're quite tight through the inner thighs, then you might want to take a chair or a bolster like this and just drape yourself. If you're here, I want you really pushing your bottom back towards the back and your heels down towards the ground, and then letting the upper body drape forward. Or you could have the elbows on the ground. You could have the hands supporting your forehead. Or if you've got pillows close by, you could drape yourself over some pillows. So you've got options here. What we're looking for is this opening through the inner thighs. Wherever you've chosen to be, make sure you feel supported, that the toes are facing upward, the knees are just gently soft. You may need to soften them by drawing up the quadriceps, by drawing the kneecaps up towards the hips. And then let the upper body be soft and let gravity do its work. Breathe. Notice, says the breath, that I am as valuable to you coming or going, that every part of my cycle is as necessary as another, that after I'm released, I return again and again, that even after a long pause, moments when nothing seems to happen, eventually I am there. Breathe. Point your toes. Flex your toes. Relax and drape your body towards the earth and feel the coming and going of your natural breath. Notice how your body welcomes the release again and again. And the next breath is always there. Is there anything that you would like to release with the breath? Stresses from the day, judgments, self-judgments, criticisms, self-criticisms. Coming and going with the breath, releasing again and again. And the next breath, the next moment is there. And then walking the hands back so that you're sitting up nice and tall, taking whatever props you've had off to the side. Take the arms high and just have a little sway. Make yourself long. Hold opposite elbows and draw the elbows back. Offer your heart forward as you sway. Knees can be soft, heels pressing down. And then bring that left arm down and side bend over, feeling the right side open and look towards the arm. Try to keep the heart coming forward. Breathe in, arms extend, palms up. Right arm comes down, left arm drapes over. Look towards it if that's okay for your neck. Breathe. Breathe in, come up. Over to the side once again. Press that right buttock down and lengthen through the tips of the fingers. This time as you breathe out and we come to the other side, drape that arm forward, drag it across the earth. Bring the right arm behind and then take the left arm over. Press the left buttock down. Extend through the left fingertips. Look towards the ceiling, or you could bring some flow and look down and up if you want to do that with your neck. Explore. Feel. And arms come down. Bring the legs underneath you up onto all fours and just an easy cat-cow as we transition into opening our hip flexors a bit more. Tonight's all about our hips for this luscious goddess pose where we learn to savor, to flow, to dance with life. And so if you've got a support that you could put in front of you, a chair or a cushion or something, we're going to go and come into a low lunge, taking that left leg forward, the right knee stays back. Turn so you can see a bit better. And then I bring my support close and I can rest my elbows here. I don't really want to collapse my chest. I want to keep the spine long, but I'm going to kind of lengthen through that back leg, press into the top of the foot and bring the knee off for a second and then reset it. Press into my elbows. It's almost like a modified Sphinx pose in a way with that left knee forward. What I'm looking for is this dropping into this right hip. Now, if you're someone who's super flexible and you want a little bit more out of this practice, then you could choose, I'll take that away so you can see, to take that left knee out to the side and open it. Or you could choose to come into full pigeon pose, so bringing that left leg in, or the further you have it away from your body, the more stretch you're going to get into it. But keeping yourself long here, because we're looking for this lengthening through that right hip flexor. Now for me, it's much more pleasant doing this with the foot on the ground, but you choose. You could even try each one and see what feels good. You can see how handy it is to have a chair for your yin practice. It just gives that support. And so we're feeling into the breath again. Each time I come, says the breath, I am a gift from life. And yet you release me without regret, without suffering, without fear. Notice how you take me in, invites the breath. Is it with joy, with gratitude? Do you take me in fully? Invite me into all the inner spaces of your home, or carefully into just inside the door, What places in you am I not allowed to nourish? So as you breathe, notice how you can accept this gift of life without clinging. You're also able to let it go without regret, without suffering, without fear. What else is there in your life that you might be able to release with this next breath? Maybe some disappointments, maybe some regrets that you ruminate on from the past. And you're ready to set that baggage down now without suffering, learning, experiencing, growing, honoring, and moving forward. That's what loosening our hips is all about. And so the hands will come to your support. Draw that left leg back, come back into your cat position, and just some little circles around with your hips, one way and the other. And sit back into the hips for a second into extended child's. We've opened into that right hip flexor. We're just going to let it close for a moment. Contract back, resettle. You can sway a little bit side to side, rock side to side in your child's. And then let's give some love to that left hip flexor. So having your support there ready as you bring your right leg forward. Drop that left hip in. Tuck the toes under. Oh no, don't tuck them under. Keep them down, but press into the top and lift that knee for a second and place it back down. Find your support, elbows there, and either letting that right knee drop open or keeping it close to your side, you choose, and play with what feels good. Or if you're coming right down into pigeon pose, if you've got really flexible hips, then feel free. But what we want to focus on is this lengthening through the front of the left hip, more than what's happening in the right hip. So pressing into the elbows gently to keep the heart lifted, the spine long. And we're noticing now with the breath, how do you take it in? With joy, with gratitude? Are you taking the breath in fully? Or have you got into a pattern of breathing with restriction and you hadn't even realized it? See if you can invite your breath into all the spaces of your body, your home. What places in your body have you not been allowing to be nourished by your breath? Tight places of holding on, of clinging. You may like to rock side to side. I like a little bit of movement even in my stillness. How do you take me in? Asks the breath. With joy, with gratitude. Is it full? And then bring the hands, if they're not already there, nice big stretch up through the spine. And then bring that right leg back, come back into child's pose again. Extend through the arms, relax the head,
And a little rock side to side. Feeling the breath, taking it in. Joy for what was good today. Let that flow in with your breath. And then coming up into child's, and then up back into your goddess pose. So take the legs a bit wider, sink down, feel into the difference once again through the hips. And maybe you can begin to sink a bit further now down into Malasana, from goddess into garland pose, elbows still opening the knees. If this is too deep, that's okay. Stay higher. And from here, as you begin to sink your sacrum down a bit lower, feel that opening through the hips, that opening to life, that flowing with the watery element of the hip chakra, Svadhisthana. See if you can also lift through the heart. So there's a grounding as the hips open with strength and ease, but also a lifting through the heart. Staying strong through the pelvic floor to lift the spine towards the sky. And so let's work with that open heart now. As you bring your hands down behind you and come down, or make your way down to your bottom in whatever way is comfortable for you. And so we work with a heart opening pose by taking your pillows or cushions. I've got a long ones. Specifically trying not to use yoga bolsters, which I have because most of you won't have one. But I have all sorts of cushions from around the house I've gathered. And we're looking for this heart opening movement here. So if you use a cushion in this way, even one from your bed, if you had a spare mat, you could have that rolled along your spine. Or if you have a yoga block, you could place it underneath your shoulder blades. I'll show you now with a smaller cushion. I can either have that tucked under. If my head needed support, I could put a cushion under my head as well. Start with the knees bent, and then if it feels good, you let them straighten. Checking in with your low back. Arms are either cactus arms, so bent elbows off to the side. You could have straight arms off to the side. You could hold opposite elbows overhead. If that's good, but you need a bit of extra support, then another pillow above the head just to rest your elbows on is often useful. Or even straight arms overhead, interlacing the fingers, or just touching the palms together to lengthen through the side of the torso, the waist, the shoulders, the armpits, the triceps. So you choose what feels good, but we want this lift through the heart and this dropping of the shoulders back to open through the chest, which is what gives you that ability to breathe, for the diaphragm to draw in breath into the lungs, and the lungs have space to move into like a vacuum, sucking in the breath, and the lungs have a place to expand. So returning to Donna Martin, she says, and notice, says the breath, how you release me. Do you hold me prisoner in closed up places in the body? Is my release resisted? Do you let me go reluctantly or easily? So as you lay here focusing on your heart space, have a sense of the letting go, the out breath. The in-breath flows in with acceptance, with ease. And the out-breath long and slow. There may be a pause.
And then the out breath. Releasing easily, without fear, without regret, just letting go, letting go, letting go. Resisting nothing, flowing, softening, opening the heart as you feel the ebb and flow of life around this heart space with your breath. Feeling, sensing, not thinking your way through your life, but rather feeling. Allowing the breath to be your teacher. Feel me, says the breath. Feel your life. Allow me to sustain and nourish you. Allow me to fill you with energy and cleanse you of tension and fatigue. And let me go easily, because I return again and again. I am there. And then we're going to come out of this beautiful heart opening space. So if your legs are straight, you want to bend them, either bringing your elbows underneath you, tucking your chin and pressing into the elbows to rise, or rolling over onto your side just to release your cushion or block, and then coming back onto your mat with the knees bent. Lovely. And taking the feet to hip width again, mat width again. And let's feel again into the hips before we come into Goddess or Malasana. So let the legs drop to the left, look to the right, and then take the left foot and let it rest on top of the right knee and draw the legs over further. Take the arms out at shoulder height, looking towards your right arm, and just breathe. You may feel a difference in how you're able to rest and relax into this twist from when we began tonight. If it feels too strong to put the left foot on the right knee, then just don't do it. And if you want to put a little bit of pressure into the left foot, drawing that right knee down, then please feel free. Let it feel juicy and nice and beautiful for you and your hips. And then draw the knees a little bit further up towards your waist, towards your heart, and let them drop again. Feel the difference. See where it changes the stretch into that right hip. The left foot still resting on the right knee, still looking to the right. And then take the left foot off the knee. Bring both knees together so they're up close to your waist, up close to your chest. Left hand's on top of the right knee, and then straighten the legs out to the side. So you're in like an L shape here, holding on to your right leg wherever you can reach it, wherever it's comfortable, still looking to the right,
And then just a little massage along the outside of that right leg and up into the hip, drawing your legs up as high as it's comfortable for you and trying to keep that right shoulder planted on the ground. Feeling into which parts of the body it feels good to touch, to rub, to nurture, to care for in this position. And then bending the knees and coming back into center. Bring the knees right into the chest. Squeeze your nose and knees together. Hold yourself in this little ball for a moment. Really squeeze. And then release. Take the legs mat width again and let them drop over to the right. Arms open wide. Take the right leg on the top of the left and let it draw that left hip down. And breathe. And are my waves of breath, of life, as gentle as a quiet sea, softly smoothing sandy stretches of yourself, or anxious, urgent, choppy waves, or the crushing tumult of a stormy sea? See if you can feel into the waves of breath and let them be as gentle as a quiet sea. Softly smoothing out sandy stretches of yourself. Perhaps feeling this long stretch along that left leg as a smooth, sandy stretch. And then bring the knees up closer towards the chest, still keeping them in this same twist. Notice the change in the stretch for the hip. Still looking to the left. And remembering if you've had enough of the hips tonight, if this has been enough for you, then feel free to substitute any other posture that would feel good for you. Sitting forward bend, wide-legged forward bends, butterfly, turtle, bridge pose. So many beautiful postures you can practice. Pressing down if it feels good with the right heel down onto the left knee. Maximize that stretch. And then uncurl the legs, bring the knees together, tuck them right up towards the shoulder, and then straighten them out. Left arms extended. Walk them up as far as it's comfortable. Try to keep that left shoulder on the ground. And then massaging into the outside of that left leg. You might even be able to reach right down to your ankles, sole of your foot, your toes, up to your low back, all along this iliotibial band on the outside of your thighs that can get really tight. And can you feel me as the link between your inner and outer worlds? Feel me as life's exchange between the universe and you. The universe breathes me into you. You send me back to the universe. I am the flow of life between every single part and the whole. So as you breathe and care for yourself and your body, can you feel life's exchange happening within you? This link between your inner world and your well-being and the state of your mind and body and breath. The link, the relationship between that and the outer world. Your well-being is interconnected as part of the well-being of the universe. of all those around you. And then bending the knees, coming back to center again. Squeeze, wrap your arms around your knees. Bring yourself into a little ball and squeeze, 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 nose up. Curl your pelvis under, draw those lower abdominals in. And then cross your ankles, release the knees, and another little massage along the spine. Bring yourself up to sitting. And one last time before we settle, just come up into this low squat in Malasana, or your standing goddess squat, and just feel and dance into your hips one last time. Feel the difference after your practice tonight. And affirm to yourself, I dance with the breath. I dance with my body. I dance with life. I invite my soul to sing and dance with each day. Breathe in, extend through the heart length and shoulders back, crown lifting to the sky. And then breathing out, come back down onto the earth once again. Soften the knees and let yourself fold into sitting forward fold. Breathe. Your attitude to me, says the breath, is your attitude to life. Welcome me. Embrace me fully. Let me nourish you completely. Then set me free. Move with me, dance with me, sing with me, sigh with me. Love me, trust me. Don't try to control me. Resting here and sitting forward fold, or continuing that massage on your low back, your thighs, your calves, your feet, your toes. What is your attitude to your breath, to your body? Are you welcoming the breath, welcoming this beautiful body each day, embracing fully that which you are and how beautiful you are and how sacred you are? Are you letting the breath nourish you completely? Are you nourishing yourself completely with your thoughts, with your actions? Are you setting your breath free throughout your body to nourish and sustain out into the universe? Are you letting yourself feel free each day to express, to move, to dance, to sing, to sigh, to love, to trust, letting go of control? And then bringing yourself back into Shavasana. Just these last moments of our practice. Legs and arms balanced from the midline of your body, either side. Chin slightly tucked, keeping the back of the neck long. If this isn't happy for your low back, keeping your knees bent. Breathe in deeply. Sigh it out. Soften the body. Breathe in life. One more.
I am the breath. Life is the musician. You are the flute. And music, creativity, depends on all of us. You are not the creator, nor the creation. We are all a part of the process of creativity. You, life, and me, the breath. Feeling yourself as part of this process of creativity, of life expressing itself. You, life, the breath. Living effortlessly in the present moment, filled with energy, allowing yourself to be cleansed with each breath of tension and fatigue. As you feel the breath, feeling your soul, feeling your inner world, feeling the gift of life, accepting and releasing each moment. Feeling the flow of life between every single part of you and the whole. Acknowledging the highest within ourselves, the highest within everyone we practice with, the highest within all living beings. Namaste. And so I'll leave you in this place of deep rest and restoration for as long as it nourishes your soul. Thank you for practicing with me tonight. It's such a pleasure.